Hey everybody, this is Amy Wells, Titans Amy from the Tennessee Titans.
This is Nate Bain, Titans social media manager.
Hey everybody, it's Rhett Bryan, game day host of Titans Radio, and you're listening to the Titans of the Southwest podcast with Lito and Big Mo.
All right, guys, welcome into another episode of the Titans of the Southwest podcast. I'm Lito, and with me, as always, is my partner, Big Mo. And today we have an awesome guest for you. We have awesome guests every week, but this is one that we've targeted for a while. We were able to get him on. Our schedules aligned. We have Johnathan Cyprien, safety for our Tennessee Titans. Cyp, how are we doing today, sir? Thank you very much for joining us.
Hey, I'm doing great, man. Thanks for having me, fellas.
Hey, glad to have you, man. Glad to have you on. I know it's kind of a funny story how we got to this point. I'm sure he follows you, but one of my followers, he noticed that you were flying over New Mexico, I think on a trip to Arizona or something like that. Mm-hmm. And he had mentioned the podcast and, said it'd be cool if you joined the podcast. So, I reached out and, that would be cool. And, you reached back out and said you were happy to do it. You didn't dismiss us, which was awesome. Been a few months since then, but I want to thank Francisco for being that link that made this possible. Like Lito said, we're happy to have you on, man.
Hey, yeah, for sure, man. That's one great thing about social media. There's a lot of great things about it. Of course, there's some negatives too. But man, hey, it's a small world, and I'm all about Tennessee. I'm all about the Tennessee Titans, and I know you guys are really representing on this side of the country. So I thought I'd talk to you guys and talk to the fans on this side of the country and see what's going on with you.
Nice.
Yeah, no, we really appreciate it. It's awesome just to be able to kind of chat with you, ask you the questions that we want to ask because we hear you. I mean, we heard you on the Titan Size podcast, and that was a great interview. Shout out to Titan Size podcast. They're a great follow and a great podcast. But we heard you on that, and both of us had things where we're like, oh, man, we want to ask him this, and let's ask him this whenever we got in touch with him. So we're really, really excited. And I know we have some things that we're going to jump in. You got some programs that you're running, some football camps, and we're going to kind of delve into that as well. But I think we're just going to start kind of from the beginning of just, hey, this is training camp kind of time, and we're going to just start here and kind of pick your brain a little bit, if that's all right with you, if you're ready for that.
Yeah, cool.
Okay. So, obviously we got a lot of new faces in the organization right now. We have the new coaches, new coaching staff. We have the new players, new guys in the backfield when it comes to like Malcolm Butler and the rookies. They're done with the rookie season, and now they're ready to go, essentially. Yeah. And you look at all these names and you look at them and you look at all the talent. So I gotta wonder, is this kind of one of the most talented secondaries you've been on? Like, what are your impressions of these guys?
And my impressions they're great. Like you said, we're one of the most talented secondaries in the whole NFL, and a lot of people are taking notice into it. But for myself and the other guys, we all understand that talent alone can't get you to the top, can't make you the number one pass defense or number one defense in the league next year. It's going to take a lot of work. It's going to take a lot of communication and just us being on the same page and being able to work together, being as talented as we are. So we're just ready to put the work in. Everybody's hungry to do that. Everybody has that same mentality that want to continue to get better, and I think that's going to be the difference between just being good and great.
Yeah, definitely. As Lito brought up in that episode of the Titan Size podcast, I noticed that you mentioned, quote, looking good on paper, and your dislike for the word having potential because it kind of means you didn't reach your goal. I guess I would like to ask you, what are the key areas the defense can focus on this season with the personnel you have that will help kind of translate the potential into the actual success?
Well, I'll just say with defense, to be a successful defense, there's a couple of things that you have to do, and one of them is, you definitely have to stop the run. It's not just the defensive backs, but it's gonna take every guy, all 11 of us to do it. And, starting with up front, stopping the run, and then in the pass game, being able to create turnovers and get the ball back in our offense's hands. I think with those two things, of course, with, being detailed and disciplined, it'll get us to exactly where we want to be.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's such a special group, and because it's so special and so talented, do you feel like that the secondary has more pressure to perform and do it consistently? And also, what makes this group special, like, in your eyes? Like, what do you see that we don't see from, the outside looking in?
Well, yeah, there's always going to be pressure on players, on position groups, on coaches, when you're expected to do something, and they expect you to do it, and if you don't do it, that it's pretty much a letdown. And, of course, there's criticism and stuff that comes with that. So, yeah, there's pressure, but, as athletes and everyone in our position, this won't be the first time we've been in pressure situations, Personally, I enjoy pressure situations. I feel like, the harder the task is, or the pressure that builds up, the bigger the crowd. I feel like, myself and a lot of other players, kind of like rise to the occasion. So with that, there might be pressure, but it's something that you kind of just have to tune out and focus on the fundamentals and do what you've been trained to do.
Definitely. I know one thing I picked up on the episode of the Igniting the Fire that was released yesterday was Kevin Byard, your partner there on the safety duo. He said a quote that I just kind of wanted to get your take on. He said, "You can have a lot of great players, but you have to be able to play together and play for one another." I guess, how tight-knit is the defensive back group, and how has the bond influenced the other positions on the defense?
We're real tight-knit. He hit it right on the head. With that said, to me, it could be, told as, it's really just all about passion. And to have passion for something, you have to care about it. And for us to care about the game, and not only care about the game, but care about the people beside you that you're playing with, it creates a passion and emotions from people, well, from us players, that can't be fake, or, it's something that's just going to happen. And, you doing all you can for your guy next to you. You don't want to let them down. You don't want to let your teammates down. You don't want to let your family down. You don't want to let your coaches down. So, when you feel that way about something, you take it seriously and you give all you got to it.
Yeah, it definitely seems like the relationships are very organic, and that you guys, are out there selling out for each other, which, I mean, the fans appreciate. I know we do. And I can guarantee you wish you would have played a lot more games last season to have a bigger impact early on. But, I mean, you made the hit that helped carry us into the next round of the playoffs, man. So hope to see more of those big hits this season for sure.
Oh, yeah, man. I can't wait. And I was, last year was a difficult year as far as, injury, because I'm not too used to sitting out for a season as long as I did last year. But, I'm thinking of it as a big opportunity. To me, I feel like I can be playing for Comeback Player of the Year.
Hell yeah.
I came back and played the rest of the year, but I still had a significant injury in my head. The sky's the limit. We have a great team, great players around me, and I think highly of myself. I'm expecting a lot from myself, and I can't wait to kind of, pop back on the scene this year.
So kind of along that vein, do you have any, like, personal goals for yourself for this upcoming season? Is there anything that you really just set your mind to, like, maybe not statistically wise, like I'm going to get X amount of tackles or breakups or anything, but what's like a personal goal for you for this coming season?
Well, a personal goal for me is, first and foremost, honestly, for us to win. We want to win games, and we want to make it all the way to the end to hopefully compete for a Super Bowl. Nashville doesn't have one yet, and in doing that, I know without said, it will be a very successful year for myself, and I'll probably reach goals that I probably didn't even write down.
True.
That's great. Reaching goals you didn't even know you really had. I mean, how can you do better than that? That's awesome.
Last season, you spent time in your first season with the team working under Dick LeBeau, one of the most sharpest minds, a legend in the NFL, both as a player and as a coach. More directly, you worked under Deshae Townsend, and Steve Jackson was assistant, who also had some ties to the Oilers organization and was a part of that Super Bowl team in '99. I guess I would ask you, what tools did you add to your repertoire or skill set under LeBeau, Townsend, and Jackson? And which will you carry over into this season under the new coaching staff?
Oh, that's awesome. That's a good question. I'll say, from LeBeau, I think I learned a lot as far as, when things go bad, not to worry, not to get outside of yourself, but continue to, to do what you know and be disciplined as far as what you've trained for. I feel like he's really had the good heart and just a great spirit as far as a coach, not only on game time, but just around the building every day.
Nice.
And even when things go wrong, just not worrying too much, and things end up turning around for the better. And for Coach Deshae and Coach Jack, I'll definitely say from them, I learned, we had a lot of fun. I can say that for sure. And besides that, I got to learn a lot from those guys and really, I guess, dissect the game through their eyes. With me being out early in the season, I got to sit in the range with them and look over some film and just watch myself, watch the games of our defense where I wasn't playing in yet, and even watch players around the league, and just, picking things up from different players or different tapes that we watch of film, and just kind of trying to add things to our game for us to be better players, even though the season is going and we're worrying about and we're preparing for the next team. We're still working on us improving as actual players. I think they have moved that a lot.
Well, that's awesome. You didn't waste any time, and you used your inability to play to soak up film pretty much and see how you could enhance your game from maybe a more mental perspective, seeing how your teammates are operating. Maybe you can give them advice from something you might have picked up on film that maybe they didn't. That's awesome. That shows the dedication and hard work that a lot of you guys put into sacrificing your bodies every Sunday. So
yeah. And I know we're going to have to, we've been calling him Coombs, but apparently we just learned yesterday that it's Combs. So we're going to have to touch on him because he's probably one of the most loved assistant coaches in their first year that I've ever even seen, because he's so fiery. He's just a lightning rod. And we got to kind of see how he does things. Do you feel like you'll be able to, it seemed like he was very technically sound, and he really focuses on a lot of the little things, like your foot goes here and you flip your hips at this time, and this is when you want to look around and kind of thing. What's kind of your impression of Combs? How do you feel about that?
What's one word you would use to describe him?
Exactly.
Excuse me?
What's one word you'd use to describe Kerry Coombs?
I would say, detailed and energetic. He is what's advertised. 100%. He's himself wherever he goes. He's passionate about what he does, and that's from being a husband to a father and a football coach. He's been a football coach going back to high school days, coaching high school kids, and then of course the college level, and now he's at the professional. And it's probably kind of organic to you guys, but I actually had coaches like him in college. And, they're very energetic, and, they believe that their energy can be able to rub off on people. And that's one thing that I feel like my energy on the football field could rub off on my teammates. It definitely translates, and he's 100% dedicated to it. And besides from the energy, he knows exactly what he's doing and why he's doing it. And he's trying his best to spread the knowledge that he has with us as professionals. And man, we appreciate it. We love every second of it. We've been with him during OTAs for a month or two, and I can honestly tell you, after being in the league for 5 years, I've learned some things that I haven't heard before. So
wow.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I get to learn that, continue to learn some stuff.
Does just out of curiosity, does Coombs work exclusively just with the DBs and secondary, or does he dedicate some of his time to helping other position groups like the linebackers adjust their games in terms of maybe coverage adjustments or learning how to read the offense formations? Or is he solely exclusively DBs?
Exclusively DB. See, the thing is, in coaching, the more people talking to a player could get more confusing, because now you can get to the part where your position coach, the linebackers coach, could be coaching someone to do something specific, and you get to the film and this guy does something different, and now the coach who coached him how to do that particular movement or that particular play, he's thinking that that guy is doing it wrong. But if now he asks a player, why did you do that? He said, oh, Coach Combs told me. Well, Coach Combs isn't his coach, you know?
Okay.
So
Yeah.
that's where it can not only put confusions between coaches, it could put confusions to a player when a lot of people are talking to you from every year. You know, it kind of like, it could paralyze a player when trying to do what everyone is saying instead of just going out there and play or just doing what one person tells you. So that's around the league. That's just not coach, but every coach focuses on their position, and it comes together collectively when the head coach, the D coordinator, and all the position coaches have their meeting together. That's when they get on the same page, so that only one person can talk to those coaches.
Okay.
I mean,
well, it makes sense. It makes sense.
Yeah.
That definitely makes sense. That's awesome. So, as fans, you know, we're watching it, and it's a very different experience than from you as a player. But just to kind of learn more, because we can always learn more. I mean, we don't know everything, and if we did, then we definitely wouldn't just be fans. So I'm kind of curious, just because you guys seem like you're really focusing on a lot of the technical stuff, and you know, you said it yourself, you're learning things now that you hadn't heard before. But like, do you have any advice on like things to look out for as we are fans or just kind of watching, like something that's kind of underrated, because we see zones, we see mans, we see like the big stuff view from 1,000 feet up. But if somebody really wanted to get into, you know, seeing how we're progressing and little things that we do, what's something that we could see from our television screens that we can really watch out for?
Appreciate, I guess.
Man, as a fan for something, well, I mean, you can, I guess, appreciate the small things. I mean, it's a team game. And sometimes in football, there's so much of us on the field, and a lot of us are, like, for example, the offense and defensive line are so close together, you can't see what's going on, or you just really find yourself following the ball.
Mm-hmm.
So with football, I mean, one thing I can say you can appreciate is the small things that happen around a play so that someone can make a big play. There's a lot of sacrifice. For example, on offense, there could be 3 wide receivers, and there's a wide receiver that has to run a go route, a vertical route, and he's running a route that, yes, he's able to catch the ball, but in the game plan or of that particular play is for him to clear out defenders so that another receiver can come underneath him and come underneath, you know? So it's something like that. I mean, offensively, the offense tries to divide the field and stress different parts so that there's openings in the secondary, you know? And it's kind of like no one sees that guy who ran off the defender so that Corey Davis could catch the dig route. You know what I mean? They just see the dig route was caught by Corey Davis. So, you know, it's, I guess, the little things and the small roles that people play that is not posterized but mean a lot, and every role on our team counts.
Do you have anything like that on defense by chance as well? Just because I'm going to keep an eye out for that kind of stuff on offense now going forward. So I also want to, you know, make sure credit where credit is due, because it's, you know, a third of the squad is also on defense. So I'm just kind of curious if there's maybe anything I should be looking out for on the defensive side as well.
Defense, you'll see. You know what? I'll say communications. You know, we're not out there just, you know, lining up, and when they say hut, we just go. You know, there's going to be a lot of movement. There's going to be a lot of talking because we all have to be on the same page. So one thing you can appreciate is before the play, before the snap, guys diagnosing the play or diagnosing what our responsibility is. So just the communication part of it, out there talking during the play. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
And it seems like there was a big emphasis on that, at least with the video that we saw. Is there more communication you find, like at the very least with the new system compared to like previous years, either team? Is there more or less, or about the same?
Yeah, it's a lot of communication, but you know, with the more communication, the better you are. So the more communication we have, not only for our defense, for any defense, the better we definitely will be. And the less communication, the less we will be. So, yeah.
No, that makes sense.
A lot of communication.
All right. I'm going to be kind of watching the games and watching to see who's talking to who and who's doing what. So that's great. Gives me something to look out for on both sides.
I kind of wanted to touch on something, Cyp, that, I mean, you might have mentioned it in an interview before, and maybe I just didn't pick up on it. What was it like when you made the decision to jump from a division rival in Jacksonville to Tennessee? I knew at the time it was rumored the Jags were going to try to re-sign you. I mean, you had a great year once you slid over to the strong safety spot, or bigger year, mainly because you play with that physicality and that violence that makes you a very effective and sound run stopper. Did you want to stay in Jacksonville, or were you interested in just the best natural fit for you to build your game even more, I guess?
You know what? It was, it's a business in the NFL. Mm-hmm. And, I was grateful for the opportunity that I got in Jacksonville to play. And I felt like I did well for the time I was there for them. I contributed a lot to the organization. And I'm happy about that, And they decided to go in a different route, and I went in a route of my own. I was blessed to sign a multi-year contract with Tennessee Titans, So sure. It is what it is. It's definitely a blessing to just be playing football, and I understand there's some of the best players in the league who've ever played this game have played for multiple teams. Mm-hmm. So I'm just another one of them. So. With that, I'll just bring all my talents I can to Tennessee, and it's a coincidence that I get to play Jacksonville twice a year, but it is what it is, Here in the AFC South, definitely going to compete, and I'm going to be the player everybody knows going to be, or even better.
That's awesome. And the AFC South's not like how it used to be either. It's definitely getting a lot more difficult, and so you're kind of in a different position. Like, our current GM took an interest in you as a scout and profiled you coming out of FIU. How does it feel to be a priority signing for that same guy who's now a GM? Is it kind of make you feel more like, I don't know if accomplished is the right word, but does it do anything? Is it any different?
I mean, it's funny now that you say it. During the draft process, Patriots were the first team to reach out to me as far as, setting up a time for us to meet when I got to the combine and everything, So they were the first team that I heard anything from, and for it to come full circle like that, it's crazy. It's great. You never know what's going to happen in the future, and for stuff like this to happen in front of your eyes, it just teaches you, as you go around your journey, you never know what's going to happen at the end, or just continue to be yourself and do the right thing and make sure you ball out. You got to do that, and you'll be playing for a long time.
Because you never know what scout might be a GM. That's awesome.
True. I kind of wanted to move over from football a little bit and kind of talk about the Cyp Squad Foundation that you built. Can you tell us some about that and like what the goals of the organization were and kind of what led you to start an organization that was going to target working with at-risk youths and providing them with a program that would help them be more successful in making life decisions?
Yeah, so the Cyp Squad At-Risk Youth Foundation, it started about 4 years ago now, and I decided to make it. I decided to start this organization after actually being kind of inspired to just go out there and do something that I had on my mind, had on my heart to do by a woman that I know from my hometown that's very close to me. And I started this 501c3. I wanted to help kids that were like myself and my friends as a kid, kids who weren't able to afford going to after-school programs or summer programs or playing Little League, football or baseball, anything that had a financial strain on low-income families to be able to do. I felt like, I wanted to help those kids. I feel that there's a lot of choices you can make in life, and there's some kids out there that, have fewer choices than others. They aren't able to have an outlet to do something that they enjoy to do because of the cost of it, and it tends to find good kids in bad situations. So I feel like I definitely want to start something where not only I could help inspire kids by my story, by other people's story, and just me showing an example of somebody who came from a neighborhood like they did and being successful. And this is the way I decided to do it, by holding events that raise money for these kids, to sponsor them to do things that they love and keep them out of trouble, and all the time having fun doing it.
That's awesome. I come from similar circumstances. I come from a low-income family myself, and kind of had to experience those financial strains, single mom, all the hardships that I saw her go through. So when I started working with at-risk youth myself in a juvenile corrections facility, like, I could connect with these guys in a lot of ways that other people couldn't. It was rewarding in the sense that, and you never pass judgment because you don't know what somebody's background is, and what led them to be forced to make some decisions that they had to make. And I think organizations like the Cyp Squad are so important because it provides kids who otherwise wouldn't have an opportunity with the opportunity. And keep grinding, man. Keep doing that, because more programs need to be made for at-risk youth who have no other alternative.
Yeah, and I know I totally agree with it. Like, there's a lot of potentials out there. One of these kids are going to be us one day, and another reason why I feel like I have to go into our community and show my face and talk to the kids that I can, because one day those kids are going to be in my position, and they're going to know that they have to do the same thing for the kids coming behind them. So just continue to start a little chain reaction. I know in South Florida it's going on. The people from my generation or draft class are really out there touching the youth, and I love it. And I just hope to bring it from here to Nashville to all over the world one day, hopefully.
No, you can do it, man. You're known for making great financial decisions already for life after football, so there's no doubt in my mind you'll be able to help plant little seeds in different states and maybe even in New Mexico one day, man. Who knows?
100%.
Definitely. I mean, you got that going, and just to kind of bring up, you have a football camp as well that you're going to be holding, ages 7 to 12, July 21st, 2018, 9 to 12. You're going to do a bunch of different things. It's you and it looks like EJ Biggers. Is that correct? Do you want to kind of flesh that out for us a little bit?
Yes, I'm having a camp at my old high school in North Miami Beach, Florida. It's from 9 a.m. to 12. Registration is at 8 or 8:30. You can register online at usafootball.com/fun. Here we're going to teach the fundamental of the game of football. We want as many kids to come out as we can. We're going to have DJs. We're going to have a lot of fun out there. We're going to have celebrity guests, of course, multiple football players from all around the league going to come in, drop in, talk to the kids, see the kids, take them through some drills, have a lot of fun. But we're also, at the end, going to make sure we feed them and, provide them with school supplies so they can be ready for school. We understand that for me to play this sport, for anybody that plays any sport here in America, you have to be able to get your schooling done. You have to pay attention to class and get good grades, So we're pushing education 100%, because that's one thing that can never lose you, and it can always continue to grow. We're giving school supplies, backpacks, and we're just going to have a great time. I'm surrounded by kids where we can, touch them in one way or the other. And hopefully they have a good time along with the people that join and come by and help us out.
Oh, yeah, they'll never forget that experience, man. I wouldn't imagine they would. Being able to interact with football players, I mean, that's going to motivate. It might not motivate all of them, but it definitely will motivate a few of them.
Yeah, 100%. I remember when I was a kid, my whole adolescence, there was only one football player who ever spoke to me and my football team, and that was John Beeson. But he, at the time, was still in college, yeah. And that's something I never forgot, That's pretty cool.
He's a solid linebacker, man.
Yeah, pretty solid linebacker. He did a good job in the league, and that's one person I remember that came out to my football park, actually. and spoke to us. I never got the opportunity to go to a football camp of an NFL football player. I would have loved to, but those weren't going around back in my day.
That's great. I mean, it's always good to see when people are in a position of influence to kind of give back and continue the work, because, I mean, you met Beeson and it sparks something inside of you. It just kind of, somebody said it in a way of like, send the elevator back down, like keep getting people encouraged and ready to go in any way you possibly can. And when you're in a position of influence and stuff like that you currently are, it's so great to see players doing it. It seems like the organization in general has a big emphasis on that as well. So kudos to you, sir.
Yeah, you're doing some solid work, man. You're doing some great work. I know some people where I used to work, man, they would tell me, you know, you can't save them all, Mo. You can't save them all. But I'll say, yeah, but you shouldn't not try to save them all. You know what I mean? You should try to provide everybody with the opportunity that they need. And so cool that you're doing that, man. Because, I mean, you're not obligated to, but in your heart you are, you know, because you're providing for them opportunities that you wish would have been made available to you. Mm-hmm. So that's great, man.
Most definitely.
And even though he's a rival, Deshaun Watson, whenever he did some charity things, he said it so simply and so great. He said, if you can, then you must. And it's so great to see players on our team that we love just doing stuff like that. Definitely makes us a little bit more proud, even when the week turns out, no matter how the game turns out. It's like, these guys are good guys, and they're doing everything that they possibly can. And I think that's why Titans Twitter and Titans fans are so just loyal and crazy about the team, because that's the kind of people that we have, and that's the kind of people that we want. So
good character group.
Yes, exactly. One last thing for you. I gotta wonder, what are your impressions of your Madden ratings? Do you care? Do you pay attention? Do you play Madden?
You know what? I don't know. All I know, I didn't. Like I said, last year I missed a couple games. I really didn't even check my Madden rating yet.
Do you want to know what they are?
Yeah, check me out. What is it, man?
All right, I got you.
That doesn't be bad either.
I got you. All right, well, we'll start. So you have an 83 awareness. You have 88 speed. You have 92 acceleration, 83 agility, 69 strength for an overall grade of 82.
69 strength. That's wrong, bro.
Yeah, they tell me on the strength, like, this is kind of like God-given. 82, man. Okay, I mean, it is what it is. I've always been pretty solid on Madden. People love me when I play on Madden. So just imagine when I have this updated roster in week 1, though. Check me out.
Oh yeah. When you use that hit stick, man, you're gonna be knocking players out the game.
You feel me?
Oh yeah. Always.
I really can't wait.
I'm going to just replay a Kansas City game and just hit stick the crap out of Travis Kelce with you every single time. It's going to be great.
Thank you. Hey, I got one more favor to ask you, man, then I'll let you go. I got a 5-year-old that just wanted to say hi.
Oh, for sure.
Okay, let me get him. Otherwise, he won't let me hear the end of it. He missed his T-ball game tonight. He's a big fan. Let me get him real quick. He's in the office. Right, his name is Adrian, man. All right, say hi, and then he's got to go, okay?
Hi.
Hi, Adrian.
I'm a fan of the Titans.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about. Let me get it tightened up. Can I get it tightened up and maybe a Cyp Squad to finish?
Tighten up.
Being all shy. Well, thank you for doing that, man. I appreciate that. He won't forget that, and neither will I.
No problem, man. Again, thanks.
Appreciate you, man.
You all have a good rest of the day, man. I appreciate you guys for having me on, and I'll hear back from you guys maybe later on this year.
That's a great way to end it. I can't think of a better way to do it. That's amazing. Thank you very much, Cyp. We appreciate it. And as always, tighten up, sir.
All right.